How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the next Q&A video. You guys know I always love doing these videos, but I always think there's been something missing, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was, but I finally nailed it. I always thought my Q&A videos could use just a little more cowbell. Alright guys, heading off to the post office to mail some of the Tacomaholic patches. Thank you if that was any of you who came by and bought them. In case you are wondering what I'm talking about, here is one installed in my headliner. Backing is Velcro, ready to simply just press and play, so check that out in the link below if you're at all interested. So the first question comes to us from Thunderfist, who asks, what's the steepest angle a TRD off-road can climb? I think that's 89 degrees. Seriously, there's a lot of stuff that goes into answering this one. First of all, what the ground is made of. If it's sand or loose dirt, obviously that's going to affect it. If it's solid or, if it's snowy, all those things go into play. Another huge one is what kind of tires you have and if they're aired down. Momentum from the base, again, obviously that's going to affect it. So there's no real answer to this question. I know when I first got my truck, the first time I went off-roading, I was able to easily, in four-wheel drive obviously, I was able to easily climb. It's probably about a 40-degree, it wasn't quite loose dirt, but it wasn't solid dirt, so about a 40-degree hill, and that was from a dead standstill at the bottom because there was literally no place to turn around. So I went down, I had to do like a 28-point turn and get myself lined up to go back out, and that was on the crappy 265 BFG rugged fail all-terrain tires that came with the truck. And the truck had no issue with that. Mine is an off-road, so I think now if I aired down with my mud terrains, a little head start at the bottom, I'm actually kind of curious to see, so I'll try to find a steep hill and get a better answer for you. And the next question from the Brown Trout Kid, which is definitely one of the most unique names I've seen, definitely like that. He says, for the Weekend Warrior off-roader, is it worth it to get the TRD off-road model? Why or why not? And then what are the best and most useful mods for a Tacoma from an off-road perspective? So as far as like the base platform, I think the off-roads are great compared to the other Tacoma models, excluding the Pro, of course, which is in a completely different price range. The off-roads are great because the biggest difference between them and the sports and the regular like SR5 4x4 Tacomas is that the off-road does have that rear locker, which if you need it will certainly come in handy. Personally, I have not been in a situation where I actually needed the locker, but I have used it a couple times just to sort of learn how it works and everything. So having that rear locker versus say the TRD Sport or the SR5, which are just regular 4x4s without the rear locker, I think it definitely makes it a good choice for the Weekend Warrior type off-road build. And as far as the best and most useful mods, as far as off-road goes, tires is going to be number one, and then larger tires, so you would have to throw in, the suspension to give you that clearance so you don't rub and all that stuff. So I would definitely say tires, and then maybe some basic armor mods, which I did a video on 3 suggested armor mods to get you started. I will go ahead and link that above, so please check that out. Okay, and the next question from Corey K, whose question is just like throwing salt on a fresh cut. He asked, do you plan on fixing or addressing your roof scratch? And the short answer is yes, I do. So for those of you who don't know, a couple months ago I was parking in the underground parking garage at work, and even though I have plenty of clearance for most of the garage, there are a few spots that I did not know about where the ceiling is much lower, and they do have little warning signs that I did not see at the time because they are very small. But as I was backing in, you can see right here, I did get a nice little scratch. Thankfully I was going slow, so it only scratched about, 10 inches to a foot in. Also got a little cosmetic damage on the, I guess this is for the Sirius XM, which I don't even use. So this is an eyesore. Thankfully, most of this, believe it or not, see if I can get a couple camera angles there for you. Most of this is just in the clear coat, and it did put a slight dent, you can see right there. But even with the, like the way the hood is sort of bumpy anyway, I guess for aerodynamics, I don't know. The damage isn't crazy bad. I'm sure it's still going to be at least a few $100s to fix. But I do plan on getting a roof rack at some point, so that will at least hide it, since that'll cover the whole thing. So again, yes, I do plan on fixing it at some point, probably sooner than later. Okay, and it is the next day, because the battery in my GoPro died halfway through filming yesterday. So here we are once again, and the next question comes to us from Reed Rancho, who asks, on the daytime running lights and turn signal LEDs that I added, did I have to change or beef up the factory wiring, and is there anything I wish I did differently now that I've had them for a while? One of the specific reasons I did go with these, they are the V3 Triton switchback kits from VLEDs. I'll put a link in the description. I think they're actually coming out with the V6 version, which is the updated one. The install and all the features should be identical though, so everything I'm saying for the V3 kit should apply for the V6, but check out their website if you have any specific questions. But for my V3 Tritons, one of the main reasons I got these is because they are literally plug and play. You just put them right in, they come with the resistor built in, everything attaches easily, you don't have to splice any wires or solder or anything. There is zero hyper flash, and the output is fantastic on them. Even during the day, if you are just using them in full sunlight like today as the daytime running light. And the turn signal, the amber, it's a nice bright orange. Looks great during the day and the nighttime as well. So I love the V3 kit. I'm flirting with the idea of upgrading to the V6 kit because I think they might be a little brighter, but you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I might just stick with this one, but absolutely no regrets at all. I think it is a fantastic kit. I definitely encourage you guys to check out the V6 kit if you are at all interested. And the last question for this Q&A comes to us from Don Willis, who asks, he said, you say the cap will add a couple £100, therefore possibly making the rear end squat a little. Does the rack that I have and the gear I have in the back of my Tacoma not also weigh a couple £100? And he says he's just asking because it seems contradictory to him. So here is my KB Voodoo tall bed rack, tall being it's mostly even with the roof line here. I'm going to just disregard, you can see I have the high lift, I've got some recovery boards, axe, you know, fire extinguisher. I'm going to disregard the weight of all that stuff. Just because no matter what kind of rack I got, or even if I got a cap, the weight of the equipment obviously is not going to change, so that's still going to be added in there. The main reason I went with the KB Voodoo rack you see right here is because the rack itself only weighs 45 pounds, which is pretty amazing. When you start to compare it to some of the full steel that are fully welded racks that just sit right on. This one is, you have to assemble it yourself. The assembly is very easy, it only takes 10-15 minutes or so. So this is about 45 pounds, and the other racks I saw, they're probably at least 150 pounds, so that's 100 pounds right there. And it's probably about the same weight if you're talking about one of the caps. So considering I'm armoring up and doing all that other stuff for protection underneath the truck, you know, adding the bigger tires, all that, wherever I can save a little weight is definitely good. And again, that's 100 pounds right there, so definitely one of the main reasons I decided to go with the KB Voodoo bed rack, in addition to its versatility. You can see they come with one side panel, but I added one on each side right there. Got my two panels up on the top, slid over, currently holding my recovery boards. All right, everyone, and that will do it for this Q&A. I hope you found some good answers here. If you have any questions of yourself, please feel free to comment below, and I might just add them to the next Q&A. I am flirting with the idea of just maybe adding a question or two to every video I do, say at the end, as opposed to doing these videos that are just Q&A. So if you have thoughts on doing that one way or the other, please also comment below. If this is your first time stopping by, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button and the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.